Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 5 Minutes with Gray Haired Dave. You know the saying, I'm Gray Haired Dave. My name is Dave. I have gray hair. I have a gray beard. I wear glasses. I'm wearing a gray shirt, not a green shirt today, but hey, that's okay. Life is about choices, right? So, how's everybody today? Hope you're all doing well. Hey, this is episode number 61. That ain't bad, right? Realistically, you think about how many weeks I've been doing this. At 5 a week, this isn't bad. So, episode 61. We're going to leave 1972 in the rearview mirror. We're going to move on up to 1973. Yes, we're moving on up. Not to the east side, just to the next year. It's funny. I remember saying last week that I was going to start working on Boomer Podcasters. And I did a little bit, but I'm going to do a lot more of it today because today is my day off. But it's daunting in a way to decide what to do and how to do it. The it is the decision to, first of all, you have to make the decision. Do you want to make a course to help people out? And of course I do. Of course I want to make a course. Because I believe more of us, baby boomers, should be out there doing this. Because I believe people want to hear it. I looked at, and this is fun, I'm looking at you all out there, and I'm looking at my analytics. Now, this is on the hosting company that I use. Now, I use Captivate. There are many out there, who all do the same thing. But, they all do it a little differently, or you get different this or this, different that. So I'm looking at the listener behavior, and I had a huge spike one day back on the beginning of March. If I look at where people are listening, and this amazes me. Of course, there's, the majority of people who listen are in America or United States. There are a few of you in the United Kingdom. Thank you for being here. There's a person in India listening to me. Welcome. And there's 7 or 8 of you in Russia who are listening to me also. I really appreciate that, all the people in Russia. Now, there's a couple in Czechia who are listening also, and another one in the Netherlands. You folks, you amaze me every time I look at this, and I just go, wow, really? It's fun as this can be. It's the analytics are fun to watch. But, and I look at how people are listening and on what apps they're using. And, some are using it on, 61% of you are using it on an unknown app, at least that Captivate isn't recognizing yet. But there's a bunch of Fountain people, and man, I got my cell phone's too close, folks. My MacBook wants to use my cell phone as a microphone in Logic Pro, which is, I record in Logic Pro. Now, I do have a bunch of other ones that I have some knowledge in. Pro Tools for recording and for editing. Reaper and, there's a couple other ones. Adobe Audition. As well as GarageBand. I started out in GarageBand. Actually, I started out using Audacity. I know I'm rambling a little bit here, but this brought something up that I wanted to talk about. I've been talking to you folks about talking about your stories. What story are you going to leave behind? That's my question to you. What story are you going to leave behind? This is my story. But, I'm using Logic Pro because I find it easy. Easy to maneuver, easy to add plugins into. And what a plugin is basically is just another tool to help make things sound the way I want them to sound. Because I don't edit just audio. I also edit video too, and I want things to sound a specific way, and that's how I can maneuver and manipulate things around. And the industry standard for years and years and years was, of course, Pro Tools. But today, there's so many other ones out there. But let me get back to my analytics that I was talking about. A lot of people listen on Chrome, and and if you're an Android user, unfortunately, Google Podcasts are going away very, very soon. I mean, if they haven't gone away already today. So you need another way to listen. Now, I might suggest iHeartRadio or Chromecast or Fountain. You can go to Spotify. I'm on Spotify. I don't like apps you have to pay to listen. Let's say that you're listening to me on Spotify. Well, that's great if you're paying to listen to music. I just feel bad that you're paying somebody else to listen to me. If you want to pay somebody to listen to me, pay me. You know what I mean? If anybody deserves a little bit of help in making this show go, it's me, not Spotify. But, and, again, that's my thoughts on it. That's my feelings on it. But, yeah, pay me for some. But you need, I suggest Fountain or iHeart, or you can even go to my website and use my player. And you can do that on your phone too. But it's gone away. Google Podcast is going away. And that's, it's sad because Google Player, the Google Podcast Player was very good. And my other show, with my brother Tim, Poetry of Christian Faith, which if you're interested in that, I really wish you'd go and check it out. It's Poetry of Christian Faith. You can find it everywhere. We've even got a website called poetryofchristianfaith.com. So let's get back to 1973. In the 70s, we started having this battle of the sexes thing going on, which was kind of fun to watch, but I was a teenager. It didn't really affect me. It did and it didn't, There wasn't that kind of a scenario in my area where I grew up where the women or the girls felt that bad that in high school, yet it hadn't become an issue. Not yet. But in 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court declares that abortion is a constitutional right in the landmark decision on the Roe versus Wade case, which was just overturned within the last couple of years by the new Supreme Court. I would tell you my opinions on this, but they're my opinions, and I'm not here to stir that kind of a pot. Okay, that's just not what I'm planning on doing here. Another thing, I don't know if you are big into tennis, but if you look it up on YouTube or anything like that, Billie Jean King beats Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes tennis match. Bobby Riggs was this buffoon. That's the best thing I can say. Was a nice guy, but he was a buffoon who thought, and he was a good tennis player. He really was. But Billie Jean King she was the best tennis player out there for the women's division. And she beat him. And it was fun to watch. It really was. And there are so many great female tennis players. Not Nadia Comaneci. God, who's what I'm thinking of? God, I can see her. Anyways, let's go on to something else because I've had a senior moment. Belize and the Bahamas gain independence from the United Kingdom. I get this off a website called thepeoplehistory.com. It's pretty good. It's good. I got some good information on here. And let's see. In music, this is the one I liked. Let's see who was. Oh, I get off of that. Let's go over here. 70s music. Oh yeah, it was. Where did it go? The big ones were the Bee Gees in the 70s. Bee Gees, Gloria Gaynor, ABBA, KC and the Sunshine Boys. And it was a lot of fun. So in 1973, Bad Bad Leroy Brown by Jim Croce was big. You're So Vain by Carly Simon. Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye. Crocodile Rock by Elton John. Superstition by Stevie Wonder. 1972-73 was the beginning of the Elton John era, which I find a lot of fun. I enjoy his music. But I digress. Don McLean was still around. So was Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper, School's Out. Do you remember that one? School's Out by Alice Cooper? And if you were a kid in the 70s, you had some great music coming out. So anyways, folks, I'm running a little long here. I rambled and I apologize. But today's a rambling kind of day. I apologize again. Today's a rambling kind of day. So for Gray Hair Dave, don't forget, go to my website, 5minuteswithgrayhairdave.com. We can find all the information on me. There's some pictures in there. There's, some merchandise. If that's something you're interested in, let me know. Leave me a message either with the voicemail or with the contact me page. Don't forget to tell your friends about me. I appreciate that. Those of you who have been doing that, I do appreciate that. So from Gray Hair Dave over here in the good old US of A to all of you around the world, I'm going to say have a great day and bye-bye.